Hello everybody, this is Purge, bringing you a pub gameplay cast here. This is another episode of Purge, Cast of Pub. The only problem with this is that I'm casting this game live here. It's not from a replay. The last few I did were actually from replay, so I could actually organize them by skill quality, but this game, that's not the case apparently. Apparently the replay functions are having issues, so I'm just going to live cast this game. We'll see how the skill level goes. I will talk about things as it goes, and I can obviously commentate on it, whether or not it's bad or good. So I'm sorry, yeah, bad or good or bad is really what I mean to say. So either way, we can see a hopefully good time and get some interesting information out of these players so far. So without further ado, for the Radiant team here, Miro Slayer going to be playing the Zeus. We have Wurzit playing the Nature's Prophet, Scorpio playing the Ursa, and then we have Sustancia playing the Windrunner, Slam 46 playing the Doombringer. For the Dire team, we have Bananas Mac, something like that. And Are You Happy Now going to be playing Crystal Maiden. I'm Effing Crazy is going to be playing the Necrolite, and finally Lucky playing the Earthshaker, and Samo going to be playing the Weaver. So these are the lanes so far. Let's look at a couple things. Nature's Prophet in the jungle. He did skill teleport level 1. I think this was to be able to scout the enemy jungle a little bit faster. This is so he can gank a little bit more. But he's basically going to have to dual lane here with a Doombringer until he picks up the Nature's Call, which I think is a huge mistake. So one interesting ward from the Crystal Maiden, but pretty good stuff. I'm going to spot creep camps here in case Nature's Prophet's jungling, and it apparently does not despawn the creep camps, so that's the main error with this observer ward. If you want to despawn that camp, guys, you got to put it either in here, or there's a spot like right here that does it as well, or you can put it like right here. Those are your spots basically. There's probably a couple that I haven't thought of, but he will start pulling, which is good of him. So Windrunner in the mid lane versus Necrolite went very bare bones item, just the Tango Salve, lots of Iron branches, increased last hitting power, and this is so that she can get a really fast bottle. This is a good thing to do as a Windrunner, so I absolutely think this is adequate. And the Necrolite himself, what does he have? Very tanky, lots of regen. This is the same item build I used in my last Necrolite game that I uploaded to the Dota Cinema channel. I don't necessarily agree with the Mega Tango build that Necrolite is doing here, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And on the top lane, we have a Ursa Zeus lane, which is really bad. I don't like this lane at all. And the reason for that is that Zeus and Ursa are going to need last hits. And wow, Ursa must have ran or something, because he's got 3 circlets with a crap load of regen, and he's going to do a little bit of harass here. You got to pick up Fury Swipes pretty early and get overpower. A couple of people asked in my Ursa game why I didn't get Earth Shock, and the reason for it is that it just severely impacts the burst damage that you can do in the mid game. Sure, you're going to be able to chase with the ability, but it doesn't really do a whole lot for you. Nature's Prophet actually coming in for a gank, and there's the trees, but you know, is this going to accomplish anything? You know, Ursa can do a couple hits here, but I mean, that's about it. He's going to try to steal some Ogre CS, which he will actually do. Scoochie coming through on the Weaver. Nice fissure. Going to put Nature's Prophet in kind of a weird position, but he's going to be absolutely fine. And Ursa's going to last hit those. So far, pretty good harass on the Weaver done by these 3 guys. And this is a pretty good trick to do here on the top lane now. He did not pick up Arc Lightning level 1. It does 100 damage versus 85 damage. I personally think it's much better to get Arc Lightning and then a Static Field. So Arc Lightning level 1, Static Field level 2. It does the most damage per mana, probably something around there. Lightning Bolt should be maxed by 7 for sure, but the first 2 levels should go into Arc Lightning and Static Field. And this also hits an AoE, so go for it, man. He's trying to disable Clarity. He is effective. He does get that off. He has some Clarity Potions, a couple Mantles. He doesn't really have very much HP here, so it's a little scary for him to be soloing or playing a dual lane on the top, but it could be worse. And Nature's Prophet's still in the lane, which is a huge mistake. You know, it's too bad. Oh, look at this. They had to spend another Observer Ward to stop the pull. Very unfortunate. He could be in the jungle, you know. Sure, he ganked at level 2, and they helped him get some CS, but no kills were had by it, you know. And he's going to TP back to the bottom now, and he really hasn't gotten very much farm so far, and he hasn't really gotten a lot of EXP, which is definitely a problem. Windrunner actually level 4 right now, leveling up skills look absolutely fine. There's a courier, no bottles sent to her yet, which she should swing her way whenever she gets the chance. And the rest of the game looks like Weaver almost getting a kill on the Ursa. He's going to pop a salve, he will heal back up. And Weaver now in a little bit of regen trouble now that she's up against the Zeus. Zeus still only level 2 though. I mean, the harass going down on the Weaver is really not that heavy. It's just an occasional low damage lightning bolt coming out of the Zeus. So I'm not sure what items he started with. Maybe it was just like a Tango or something. I seem to remember some item build like that or some item like that, but I'm gonna actually miss the first blood on the bot, which I cannot believe. Looks like he did use level death. But I know these heroes aren't multiples of 6, so I don't know what that'll happen. Is Nature's Prophet going to die to creeps? That's the real question. He's going to be fine, and Kunkka will barely survive as well. I cannot believe that this happened. Nature's Prophet possibly doing some decent damage. He will be maxing out Teleport first. Still no Force of Nature. But, I mean, a Doombringer has 0 laning presence, basically. Doombringer as a hero kind of got popular in the Dota scene when he started soloing the mid. After they did the remake on him, he got popular by just soloing a single lane. And as a level 4 hero, he can literally do a level death and auto attack. That's it. I mean, how does a Crystal Maiden die to that is the question that I'm basically asking. Ursa is going to die in the top lane, but, I mean, you really can't die. If you guys are playing on a low skill level, 100% if you die to a Doombringer when you're not getting like multiple death or level death multiplies, it's you're playing really badly. It should not be happening, period. I don't care if Nature's Prophet was like treeing you in or something. I mean, it's basically 2 heroes who can auto attack you, and you're dying to that, and that should not be happening at all. Kunkka looks like he is going for a Ring of Health possibly next. His skill build so far is fine with me. He's going to pick up a little bit of splash damage. It's going to hit the Doombringer. You have to be really careful about that, and Doom actually might be in a little bit of trouble, but he has very good items for 5 minutes into the game. Basilius almost getting towards that Vanguard. Very, very, very good Doombringer items, and he does actually have the armor on, so make sure you turn that off, guys. The Ring of Basilius, if you do not click on it with a left click, it's going to give your allied creeps 2 armor. Is the torrent going to land? Good dodge by Doombringer. That's going to keep him alive. That would have been a kill for sure. But a nice dodge by him. He's just going Max Devour first, which is going to give him a lot more creeps gold. But he's going to have to be very careful here. He's going to have to wait probably another 100 or 200 HP. He's going to probably devour one of these creeps after he pulls it back. And no, he's not. He's playing really, really safe. While Kunkka actually might end up going down to tower. Wow, 1 hit away. That was really close. He still doesn't have any regen items. He's probably going to go buy his Ring of Health. Please, man. Thank God. Alright, there's the Ring of Health. Nature's Prophet not TPing on that. I don't know where the hell Nature's Prophet was, but that's a guaranteed kill. Or at least it was. How's the mid lane doing? Windrunner has really fast phase boots here. Looking pretty darn good. Her item build is great. Her skill build is great. Still hasn't gotten a bottle, which is a little peculiar. I thought for sure she was going to pick that up, but she will be able to outlast hit the Necrolite very, very well now that you get those phase boots. That's why you pick those up. Plus 24 damage is pretty much better than anything else anyone's going to be working with in the lane. Necrolite doing 61, and she's doing like 90 damage. So she does about 50% more. Okay, my math is right. 50% more damage than the Necrolite does. Ursa going to check a pull once again on the Earthshaker. And are we going to see the fissure? Nope, Ursa wanted to get that last hit. There's a nice fissure. It's going to do a little bit more damage to Ursa. And will Weaver get a kill off here? There's the Sakuchi. Alright, there's the bugs as well. Couple hits. The courier comes through. Weaver go invisible. Oh my god, Weaver goes down. That is so frustrating. Earthshaker wants this kill. Will he get it? He's going to do random fissure. Nice dodge by the Ursa. That was very smart. And fun play so far by these guys up here. Really unfortunate for Weaver. I think he played that fine. Maybe what he should have done is not be standing right next to the Ursa when he became uninvisible. I mean, Weaver basically lives and dies early game by Sakuchi cooldown. And if he had level 4 Sakuchi, if he was level 7, that would have made the difference for sure. He would have been invisible. I think what he should have done is pop out of invisibility a little bit away from the Ursa, do the bugs, and get a couple more range attacks and just commit to it. Because if he just would have auto-attacked like 2 more times, Ursa would have died regardless of Weaver trying to run away. And that's basically what Weaver did. He was like, oh god, I'm vulnerable, run, die. He could have just auto-attacked and probably taken just about as much damage. So I think that was a little bit of a mistake there. Nature's Prophet once again harassing, another couple hits, and he still doesn't have Nature's Call. He's not going to be able to push at this at all, but he will be able to do Force of Nature with a little bit of getting people out of position. Necrolite, absolutely great skill build. Maxing Sadist next is the way to go. Gets up your mana regen basically, or basically gets your mana up. Heartstopper Aura is actually pretty good, but in a 1v1 situation, it's not that amazing. Doesn't really scale that much better. It's a nice ability, but you know, against a solo hero, I would never max that out second. Maybe in a tri-lane situation. Maybe tri-lane versus tri-lane, high action tri-lane. I could maybe see you seeing someone pick up a fast Heartstopper Aura, but even then it'd be really weird because everybody's HP is so low at the early game, and usually some of those heroes are going to be support heroes. So Doombringer once again just getting pushed on here, a little surprising. He's going to hit the Kunkka a few times. Nature's Prophet actually coming in, and will the tower switch targets? Still not hitting Kunkka. Very unfortunate for the Radiant team. Ursa now chasing with 20 HP here. They just need a slow, but they don't have any. Are we going to see a Sprout? Need one more Sprout. That Sprout off. There's a Sprout. That could be it, and yes, indeed, Ursa will get that lasted off. Almost dying to creeps, but he's going to be absolutely fine. He's going to be really close to getting his Vlads. Now, I didn't address this once again when I played my Ursa game. These ideas that I'm talking about are just coming up because of the fact that I've been reading a couple comments over the last week. When I played Ursa, I didn't end up picking up a really fast Vlads. The reason that I did this is because a fast Vlads, like a naked Vlads on Ursa, it allows you to rush really fast, but other than that, that's really all it's contributing in an early game situation. You can lifesteal pretty great with it on enemy heroes and stuff, but generally that's not going to make a huge impact. We actually are going to see Windrunner die here. Really good coordination gank there. Windrunner does have very low HP. That is kind of it's not very low, but that is her weakness basically, is against magic nukers that go through Windrun. And needless to say, Necrolite doesn't have to worry about that. A Death Pulse, a little bit of nuking from the Crystal Maiden, and his ultimate was an easy kill. So that was a really nice gank by Crystal Maiden. Anyways, back onto Ursa with Vlads. Let's look at him right now. He picks up a really fast Vlads here, 10-minute Vlads. He's level 7. He's going to go do a Roshan right now, and that's cool. But look at his laning. He basically had no regen this entire time for up to 10 minutes here. He had regular boots, and he had no regen. He even had good items, air quotes, because he happened to buy 3 circlets. And this is like the only reason why you could even argue that, his items were decent enough. If he was in a laning situation, which is where most Ursas are going to be in the early game, they would basically be sitting in the lane trying to lane properly, and he wouldn't have been able to do that very well because all he had was the Vlads. It does give you a little bit of regen, and it gives you armor and whatever. I've talked about those other videos, but a Vlads by itself on a laning Ursa is not that great. That's kind of what it comes down to. It can be good for getting a fast Roshan, which he will be successful at, obviously, but at the same time, you have to make decisions, and that happens to be one that isn't always the best. Sometimes you can just fill those holes with getting something like a Vanguard Phase Boots is what I picked up. Yeah, he's going to pick up a Roshan at 11 minutes, which is really cool once again, but even still, if he actually had a hard lane against like somebody that was harassing him, going for a really fast Vlads over something like a Vanguard would have definitely hurt him. And don't forget that Rage also does bonus damage if you get high HP, and Vanguard increases that. So with Vlads you get the early Roshan, but you have harder laning process, and you don't do quite as much damage at the 10 to 15 minute mark. So that's the trade-off basically. You could argue that he's going to get bigger gold. I'd probably say do it depending on the game. I'm not extremely adamant about what I just said about, I don't necessarily think that getting Vanguard over Vlads is always the best thing to do, which is what I did in my Ursa game, but don't feel like going to fast Vlads is the only way to play Ursa pretty much. And he goes with another good item choice, it's going to be Phase Boots. You would think that you want more HP because Enrage does more damage if you have more HP. But Phase Boots are so good for chasing. Not to mention you already attack at max attack speed with Overpower. No matter what your attack speed is, guys, you attack at the same rate when you use Overpower. So this boosts up his damage. That means he hits really hard in these 6 hits with the Phase Boots damage. And he can chase better. So basically, there's good things about Phase Boots, or about Power Treads. You hit harder with Rage, and you hit harder when Overpower is not up. But with Phase Boots, you generally hit hard with Overpower up anyways, and it's better for chasing. So I think Phase Boots is the way to go on Ursa. I would love to see him go damage, or an HP item next. Something like a Heart or a Blink Dagger would be really great. So let's look at the rest of the heroes in the game so far. Nature's Prophet still does not have Force of Nature, which is a little weird. He cannot push at all. I mean, sure, he's got treads or whatever, but that's basically all he's working with. We're not going to see Necrolite ulti. That would have been probably a waste. And Crystal Maiden, so far, I really like her skill build. Doing a very good job. She's actually putting wards up and things like that. I would have liked to see her maybe put a Observer ward down, probably right here, just to protect against Ursa, but he did use the smoke anyways, so technically that would have been a waste. Almost all Ursas now are going to use smoke to go do the Roshan, but even still, it's a nice little habit to get into when there's an Ursa on the enemy team and you're playing in a pub game. Go for it. Just protect those. And Ursa making another good decision. Since he does have that Vlads, he can immediately start Ancient neutraling instead of regular neutraling, and these pay a lot more gold off. So Earthshaker may run into Ursa here, and yes he will. There's the chase, and is he going to get the... No, he actually still doesn't have the Earth Stomp. He is using his Phase Boots to chase, and there is, wow, nice pick off there by Ursa. Very close. Earthshaker actually a little slow on the disable, and just using these Phase Boots here, he can just kind of right-click all these heroes, and he's actually doing a very good job And wow, he's going to get that kill. Ursa playing a really good job here. Or playing a really good game. Nice ulti from Crystal. Maiden is going to clean up. That was really good. But I did not see Zeus, but he shows up, and there's the Aegis anyway, so not a big deal. A little bit of lag on my PC once again. Now Ursa finally picking up Earthshock, and this is basically a problem for the Dire team right now. They basically let Ursa get, was that 3 kills there? That really shouldn't have happened. He's up 4-0 on 1 right now, and I mean, in a lot of ways, those are all kills that probably shouldn't have happened. Earthshaker, I feel like, could have gotten the stun off pretty early, or at least, I don't know, just drop a fissure or something. He got it off. He almost stunned right before he died, but he didn't get it off. He died there. Necrolite went down, which I think was a mistake. Just run and keep doing death pulses, man. It's not too hard. And he ended up going down, and Crystal Maiden ended up dying, but that was just to a Zeus. So I feel like, you know, starting Ursa along that path is really tough. And if you're playing your hero right, you don't want to get close to an Ursa. Absolutely not. I mean, we just saw what happens. He has the Vlads, he has the Phase Boots, and he has Overpower and Fury Swipes Max. He just basically right-clicks you, and if you stand there and try to tank him, you're going to die, period. So I think those players definitely misplayed enough where Ursa is now going to get into a really dangerous situation where he's going to buy a Blink Dagger really soon or something like that. So, alright, Heartstopper Aura is actually going to do some good work against Ursa, except for the fact that he's life-stealing like crazy. It looks like he might be going with this Claymore, possibly going for a Lothar's. If not a Lothar's, also a Battle Fury, maybe, but I'd be a little surprised. Are they going to be able to get a kill there? There's the nice spell casting, and here comes Necrolite ulti, guaranteed kill. A little bit of a waste, but nice pickup. Going to shut down the Ursa just a little bit here, which makes a big difference considering how far they're behind. Doombringer continuing the bot lane CSing. Has he even died yet? He's almost level 11. Has he even gotten a kill? He got that like one weird kill auto-attacking. He's getting very close to his Radiance, so this is also a very common build, especially for a Doombringer on a side lane. Sometimes you see Doombringers go for a bottle in the mid lane, which I think is very good when they solo mid. But him on the bot lane, he's basically just concerned about farming like crazy. And if we look at the gold per minute, he's probably sitting really good. And indeed, he has 382 highest GPM in the game. Ursa sitting at 351. The Radiant team looks really good. Look how far ahead they are from the Dire team. This is basically because their lanes are good and their heroes are actually all farming appropriately. So Doombringer using a lot of Devours. He picks up the Vanguard to cover his HP hole. Well, you know, he doesn't have an HP hole, but getting the regen and the damage block is really, really nice. And he has very, very bad base armor, so getting damage block makes a big impact when you have absolutely no armor. Helps out a lot. Ring of Basilius is picked up to fill that armor gap as well, and most importantly, give him some nice mana regen. His int gain is pretty good here, but having a Ring of Basilius is going to make an impact, so that's Doombringer. He still has, no, he has actually picked up a Thunderclap, a Ursa creep, which is bad, but I would love to see him pick up against this lineup. Possibly something like, I don't know, you could do pretty much anything. Out of this creep camp, I would probably pick up the Alpha Wolf, or maybe the Satyr Soul Stealer's not bad either. You can burn 100 mana, that can be kind of cool, but generally the best ones are the Centaur or the Alpha Wolf, or the Ogre Magi is really good. Gives you a Frost Armor for 8 armor, which absolutely fills his armor gap. That can be very, very nice against any melee hard carries like even Ursa or Anti-Mage or something like that is pretty great. If you guys are wondering, it is actually New Year's Eve right now. I'm going to a party in about 40 minutes, so as soon as this cast is over, I'm heading off to that. If you're curious what I meant about going out. Alright. So Doombringer does have enough for his Relic now, so he's going to be tanky because of Vanguard and the Ring of Basilius. He's just got regular boots, so his kill potential is actually very low right now. But once he gets that Radiance, it's going to probably be like 25 minutes or something like that, less than that, 22 minutes maybe. And all of a sudden, he's going to be doing 40 damage per second to everything around him. So in case his farming wasn't good before, he's going to do even better. So I can already tell just by his movements, just by his CSing, he's actually a very good player. And has just been farming like crazy on the bot lane, which is cool. Doesn't seem to be missing a lot of CS even, so yeah, he's doing very good, especially with this Quelling Blade. 32% melee bonus damage to a melee hero, 12% range. That means you do not want to pick up this item on a ranged hero, unless maybe you're having a lot of trouble against Nature's Prophet who will sprout you, because then you can use the Quelling Blade to cut down that tree. So generally never get this item on a ranged hero. You're almost always going to be more cost efficient picking up something like Mantles of Intelligence or something like that. So So we do have a team fight going on in the mid lane. Looks like Weaver doing really good. Who's that? Windrunner goes down, and it looks like Zeus is absolutely screwed as well. A little bit of a mini stun from Earthshaker. He actually has a bottle, which is kind of interesting. I actually haven't seen a bottle Earthshaker in a super long time, and this is basically because of Arcane Boots. As soon as Arcane Boots was put in the game, Earthshakers never looked back from. They used to do. Your options were basically these. As an Earthshaker, they would either go for. I can't even remember if this was standard in competitive play, but in a pub game at least, they would either get Bottle with Null Talismans giving intelligence, Bottle giving them regen, or they would go for an Arcane Ring, which was the predecessor to the Arcane Boots. It was more expensive than Arcane Boots were. Arcane Boots give less mana regen per second, basically, if you average it over a ton, like a long time, like a minute, couple minutes. But Arcane Ring was like Arcane Boots, but it was a separate item pretty much. So heroes like Earthshaker would oftentimes get an Arcane Ring just to fill that mana lack that they had, and Bottle was before that, so that was kind of interesting. Brought back a bunch of memories just looking at that. Necrolite opting for a Mechanism, which is a really, really great item choice on him. Increases his semi-low armor, boosts all of his stats up, gives him a little bit of mana, gives him a little bit of HP, and of course having that heal is great for burst heals in teamfights. Now he can heal for 250 right here. Is this a smoke gank? Yeah, it is. Well, 250 HP right here for heal, and 130 right there. So that's 380 burst heal. That's right, my math is correct. I'm still willing to make math decisions despite not knowing what 3 to the 3rd power was on my item or my hotkey summary, but not a big deal. Okay, Windrunner also going for a mech. Very great items on her so far. Looks like she might be going for a Cyclone, possibly. A Yule Scepter, maybe. Not quite sure. She's going to TP to the bot lane. Weaver is now farming down here. He has pretty bad items. Going for a Relic soon, and Zeus is going to ulti this, but they're going to find the Zeus then. He is screwed, goes down. Doombringer wants to fight. He's going to Doom on the Earthshaker. There's the Kunkka Bow coming through, but is he trapped? He is trapped. Okay, he's not trapped. His Radiance is doing pretty good damage, though. The Nature's Prophet ulti hitting hard. And is he going to go down? And there's the Torrent. Yeah, that's it for Doombringer. So, nice team fight for the Dire team. I like the Furion ulti. That helped out a little bit. They actually have an almost global team, but nobody else was there, so I feel like if Doombringer had maybe one more item, he could have made that team fight completely different, but they are actually decently farmed, especially the Necrolite, doing a very good job right here. Definitely carrying the team currently. Kunkka looks like he's going for a Battle Fury here. This is a good Kunkka item decision. Nowadays we see Kunkkas do some more weird stuff, like go for like a Shadow Blade and use that to splash with Tidebringer. If you don't know how Tidebringer works, if you hit a target, it primary splashes the splashes the damage. It's like a 100% cleave basically. So watch all these creeps. They're all going to take damage from this splash. There we go. Every single one gets splashed. It's based on the primary target's armor, so whenever you do an initial splash in a team fight, you preferably want to hit a ranged creep because they have the least amount of armor, so then your splash will do more after the damage calculations. But the way that a Lothar's, man, so many smokes going on. The way that a Lothar's and a Battle Fury interacts is basically a Lothar's gives you a bonus damage upon breaking the Abyss. This gets applied to the splash. Looks like Nature's Prophet is in a lot of trouble. He is definitely going to go down. So the Lothar's, or the Shadow Blade, applies 150 bonus damage. That gets splashed. The way Battle Fury works was a bugged mechanic, basically. Tidebringer was coded in Warcraft 3 as doing 100% cleave. The way that Battle Fury works is it applies 35% extra cleave to your attack. That means if you're already splashing for 100% cleave with Tidebringer, and then all of a sudden you get a Battle Fury, it increased the cleave amount to 135%. So what this basically did was, the primary target you hit takes less damage. That's right, less damage than the cleave targets. So if you want to do something hilarious, play Kunkka up. Nobody does this anymore really, because Kunkka doesn't see much play. But you would get 3 Battle Furies or something like that, which gives you 35, 70, 105 extra cleave percentage. So you would basically do 205% damage to extra targets. It was pretty funny. Yeah, Ursa is going for the Shadow Blade. He's going to have to, he does cast his spells, and then does the Lothar's or the Shadow Blade. He will initiate. I don't think he's going to catch anybody, though. Yeah, everybody's running away smartly, so they'll run away. Weaver doing a nice job picking off the bot tower. He's very close to his Relic, not quite there. I do kind of like his item build, though. Just survivability with HP, basically, with a little bit of regen on the Ring of Health, so I think that's pretty good. Zeus is going to zap, and it's going to be on Crystal Maiden. I can't tell who's on who. It looks like Earthshaker is screwed here. Good Doom target. And he actually does have the Alpha Wolf now, so he's doing an extra 30 damage per hit. And there goes Ursa. Slap goes down. Who is dying? Crystal Maiden. Necrolite may be next. Doombringer now chasing. Couple heroes looking to kill Ursa. Ursa's actually going to end up dying for sure. He does go down. Weaver doing a good job, but he does get trapped and needs the time lapse out way long ago. And there's the time lapse, but a little bit late. Either way, he did an okay job fighting that team fight, I thought. Doombringer doing a really good job, especially. Nice mech. Are they going to be able to get a kill on Doom here? It could be close. Nice play by those two heroes. I didn't see that coming at all. So that was really well done, especially by the Necrolite. But once again, he's just playing really, really well. So the good thing that Doom did there in that team fight was he immediately doomed on the Earthshaker. Earthshaker is like the go-to Doom target. Other than Earthshaker, if you're in a serious team fight and I encountered this entire team lineup, if Weaver was really farmed and a little out of position, I would Doom him. If he didn't have a Lincoln Sphere, of course, because I don't want Doom to get disabled. I would Doom Weaver. He's not going to be able to do Sakuchi. He's not going to be able to do time-lapse. He's a walking squishy glass cannon, basically. At that point, Weaver is pretty easy to kill. So, primary Doom target, if Weaver's out of position, I would kill Weaver. If it's a regular team fight, I would, and Necrolite was really farmed, or maybe at a squishy location, I would maybe Doom Necrolite, because him not casting abilities or using Mechanism would make a big impact. Doom is like the one ability that also silences items. Seriously, there's like no other items that does that. If he has like a pipe, the percent or the magic resist still applies, but you can't activate the pipe, or you can't pop the Mechanism, or you can't pop the wand when you're doomed. So that's a normal, typical Necrolite or Doom function. So I would basically be looking at either Necrolite or Weaver if they're out of position. But in the early game like this, if Earthshaker hasn't cast anything yet, just Doom Earthshaker. He is literally worthless as a hero when he is silenced. No stuns that can come. He can't ulti. He can't heal. His HP isn't that high. I would straight up, very commonly, just ulti on the Earthshaker. And once again, nice play by these two guys. The Earthshaker disabling the TP. And yeah, they have done a lot of smoking so far. And it looks like they did a looks like they ended up doing a counter ward as well, which is a little peculiar and unexpected. Looks like Ursa picks up a Stout Shield, possibly going for his Vanguard next. Still, once again, picked up 3 circlets like that. How much money did he spend on these circlets? And he still hasn't used them for an actual item yet. They're just, I think they're 198 gold or 195. Let me find out. Confirm. 185, sorry, my bad, off by 10. 185, here comes the team fight. Ursa is actually going to get stunned by the Ghost Shift, which is pretty big, and he's going to get just destroyed. Aegis goes down, Aegis Prophet already has an Egg and Receptor, a little surprise, and is even Lothars out of this. Still has cooldown, 2, 1. Oh, he gets picked off, and there was a Sentry. Nice play by the Dire team. They were playing really, really well. And let's just point this out for a fact, for a quick second. Let's say, hypothetically, Ursa made it to that Shadow Blade cooldown. He would have survived. You know, all that the Crystal Maiden has been doing this game is ganking effectively, dropping sentry wards, and getting kills. And what she basically accomplished there was guaranteeing that kill on the Ursa. And this kind of play, as a support hero, makes such a big difference on a pub level. Exactly. This guy wants to play like a pub. He wants to buy a Lothars, be able to get kills, and not ever have to worry about dying. And that's ridiculous. You should be punishing every single person that does this. He goes for the aggressive, fast Vlads into phase boots and tries to get kills with Shadow Blade. Buy Sentry Wards, man. Buy Dust. Get him killed repeatedly. And all of a sudden, even though he got 4 kills early, if he would have just gotten like a Blink Dagger or like a normal chasing item, he could be dominating right now, but instead he goes for the greedy Shadow Blade, and with a little bit of Dust and Sentry Wards from the Crystal Maiden, all of a sudden Ursa is screwed in a lot of ways. You know, they're at a huge disadvantage. Nice gonna pick up another Observer Ward, really lucky. Another cool thing that Crystal Maiden doing, maxing out Frostbite first. This does count, it has a mini stun in it. It doesn't count as a hard stun though, so it's not actually a 3-second stun, it's more like a 3-second immobilize. You can't blink out of it, but you can cast spells. I'm pretty sure, pretty much guaranteed. You can cast spells, you can't move, mini stuns on initial, and you can't blink out of it. So it's good against heroes like Anti-Mage, but most importantly, any hero that just auto-attacks. So heroes like Ursa, heroes like Huskar, get that max Frostbite, and as well, Anti-Mage. This is one of the best abilities for fighting Anti-Mage. Crystal Maiden very good against Anti-Mage for that fact, because of Frostbite disabling his blink for 3 seconds, which is a really long time in terms of disables. So, Smart play by the Crystal Maiden so far. Doombringer picking up Phase Boots. This is good. This is to chase faster. The Zeus doesn't really have that great items. He's got the double null talisman with a bracer. He's not really getting anywhere. His skill build is great, but his item build, I feel like he could be spending his gold on different things. Maybe even like buying a point booster instead of all these items. It does look like he's doing a little bit of warding. This is a pretty good ward spot as well. I like another good ward here. They figured out where the sentry was, or at least figured where the sentry was. This is a good place. This sentry placed over here only has vision to basically cover possibly all 3 spots, about this much range here. So if you know somebody places a sentry in this location, this is a good ward to place. Or maybe one right here, something like that. This ward, if you place a ward like right here, it's very, very unoften for it to get dewarded. I really like this spot. But these spots as well, extremely common, especially on a noob level. These are probably the 2 most common wards at the bottom rune spot. Looks like Necrolite will be going for an Aghanim Scepter. I don't like this at all. It's actually one of the worst Aghanim Scepters in the game. The only changes increases the damage per HP missing from 0.9 at max level to 1.1, which is a very small margin. Decreases the mana cost for level 1, and decreases cooldowns for levels 1 and 2. I actually wasn't familiar with that. I thought it just increased the damage per missing HP. But basically, alright. The Aghanims is good for Necrolite in the fact that he wants HP and mana and stuff like that. That's great. But the problem is basically that it doesn't really increase your ulti that much. That's the problem. It's an expensive item. It gives you the stats that you need, but that's about it. It doesn't really provide you a lot more than that, and something like a Shiva's is going to keep you way tankier and give you more utility in the early game, basically. Now, wow, even boating on that is pretty extreme. The Battle Fury is finished on Kunkka, so he's going to be splashing pretty well here. Phase Boots also grabbed for positioning, and there's Ursa initiating the tree split on Kunkka. He goes down, his cooldowns are gone. Anyways, who gets doomed? It's going to be a Crystal Maiden. Weaver's actually going to survive. I disagree with that. Doom target should have gone on the Weaver. Weaver could be dead right now. Crystal Maiden obviously will die from this, but Weaver could have died. Guaranteed, nice and easy. Ursa will get picked off. Necrolite doing a nice job standing his ground. Is he going to get the kill? He actually did He did get his Aghanims last second here. And doesn't look like the mana cost is just decreased. I don't think the numbers apply quite yet. But a nice team fight by the Radiant team. I still feel like a Doom on Weaver would have been a little bit better in that situation. Crystal Maiden basically has 2 spells and then she doesn't do anything. Unless she gets a really good ulti off, but generally that's unlikely. Actually, I basically need to see Necrolite pick up a hood. That needs to happen. Against Doombringer with Doom. Oh, that was a huge mistake by the Necrolite. Misclicking as well, and definitely a big misplay there. I've made this mistake so many times. You guys just saw it in my Razor video. You think in your head, you're like, oh god, I could slow down this push. I've got an AoE nuke. I'm going to slow this down. Like, the best example is when they're about to Rax you, you're the only hero alive, and you're like, I'm playing Crystal Maiden. I'm going to throw down a Crystal Nova. It's going to do AoE. It's going to slow them. It's going to do damage. And what happens is you run forward, and you do a little bit of AoE, and then they just kill you. Because there's way more of them than you. And this is a really, really hard sense to just learn to not listen to. You basically just have to say, like, wow, Crystal Maiden getting pretty lucky on the ulti, but nice play there, picking off the Doombringer. It's just like one of those senses that you just have to learn to control. Necrolite did that there. He was like, I'm going to slow down this creep wave. I'm really tanky. He rolled up, he did his AoE, his mech was on cooldown, and then he misclicked, but even if he didn't misclick, I think he was going to die either way. So, but he gets picked off, and that's completely as a result of trying to do a little AoE. So make sure you don't do stuff like that, guys. Now, I think Crystal Maiden in this game is trying a little too hard. If you look at his items so far, he is... Oh, wow, he actually knows the Ursa there. Nice ice block. This could be dangerous, though. They will be able to get that Observer Ward in a second. And will he go down, though? Still no AoEs casted. Still trying to sprint away. He's got an ice block. Otherwise, he's dead. Ice block. Oh, a little late. He needed to ice block as that first hit, and then maybe run away, but...
As spring drives off winter.
Okay, he just had a Crystal Maiden line. That's why I stopped talking. And it looks like the... Oh, no, still... Okay, yeah. Weaver did come through and finish off the Sentry Ward, so... Crystal Maiden is trying a little bit too hard here. Her items are a little too inadequate. Her items are great for a serious pro-level game. Like, by all means, guys. She is tryharding to the max. One mistake she is making, though, not maxing out Crystal Nova. It's still at level 1. This is definitely a big mistake. The duration of slow gets scaled with time, and most importantly, just having an extra 150 AoE nuke can make a big impact on a team fight. So, there is the Ursa Illusions. No, that's actually the real one. Is there a gem or anything on these guys? Nothing yet. Nothing yet, but not a big deal. The Crystal Maiden, I mean, just having the extra 150 AoE nuke, it helps push, it helps stop pushes, it slows them down a little bit longer. Don't be like this Crystal Maiden. I understand he doesn't have very much HP, but she should be buying some treads anyways, that's the thing. She's been going crazy on counter warding and warding and stuff, which is going to give their team a little bit more map control, so I guess in a sense, you could say that she's winning the game. I think she's doing a great job, but I feel like, I don't know, for a pub game, she's trying really hard. I mean, how many smokes did we see? This could be like the International or something, for all I would know by watching this Crystal Maiden here. Other than that, her items are great. Urn is wonderful. Magic Wand is great on very squishy support heroes. We'll see if she even drops down another Sentry Ward, which she may do. Roshan is actually not up yet, so I think they're trying to keep vision of it. Doombringer on the high ground. He goes for a plate mail with a Ogre Club, which is a little interesting. There's actually a Sentry Ward on the low ground, which is going to spot them out. There's the disable on Doombringer. Here comes the boat. Big nukes on Doombringer. Is he going to get killed? There's the invisibility. Wow, Doom actually did not get off. That was really big. Nice play there by the Dire team, picking off the Doombringer that well. And once again, Sentry Ward just in position. Rosh must be up soon or something, because they are really paying attention to this area. And just the Sentry Ward on the low ground, really good stuff. Catches, basically gives them vision of any invisible hero that's showing up, just shuts them down, man. And basically Ursa can't just regular initiate. He's got to do hit and run tactics. He's going to go for a Black King Bar now, which is basically all he can do now. He can't just Lothars into a team fight because they're going to see him coming, because Crystal Maiden actually has very good items. She doesn't have a TP scroll, is the only weird part though. Alright, Weaver on the mid lane, looking great item choice here. Treads Hood with the Ring of Basilius, and he has the Radiance finish, so pretty decent time on the Radiance. Most importantly is the fact that he does have a Hood. If Doom was playing his hero correctly, in my opinion, he would be dooming Weaver at team fights. That should be happening, period. Now, do we have DCs or something? Like, what happened to the Radiant team? Like, their team just kind of fell apart. Nature's Prophet, what is he even doing? Where is Nature's Prophet? He's in the mid lane. He's actually going to get a Sheepstick next. But a fast Aghanim Scepter is actually not very good if your team has any kind of hard carry. Basically just pushes all the lanes. This is a possible mistake he's making here. Is he going to be able to... It's a very nice Sprout, I must say. Extremely nice Sprout. He's going to TP in. He's going to ulti. He's going to hit a few dudes. Actually, he's not going to hit anybody. That was a really bad ulti. Wow, that was a bad ulti. Okay, guys. Pro tip, Nature's Prophet move. Only use this ability when the creep waves are meeting. You gotta look at the map and be like, oh, there's a creep wave here, there's a creep wave here, there's a creep wave here. And then you ulti, and then it hits like 4 people, and it works out really nice. So, looks like we have an Orchid on the Windrunner. I think this is a really smart choice by the Windrunner. Weaver almost getting a kill, but not gonna get a nice ulti. Gonna guarantee kill using that Aghanim Scepter. And Windrunner also gonna go down. Really nice play by the Dire team. Literally, Necrolite and Weaver here, just outplaying those two guys. The reason that the Orchid is so smart on Windrunner, she did go for the Mechanism first, picks up a Cloak just to give her some more survivability against Necrolite, but she picks up the Orchid because it gives a 5-second silence, and silence is really good against Weaver. It is really good against Weaver. Better against Weaver than almost every hero in the game, I would argue. Now, once again, Kunkka is going to lay a couple of fail abilities. Doombringer, couple things to point out. He did pick up just the plate mail, then the Ogre Club. Once again, I think he's going for a BKB probably, unless he's going for an Aghanims, which I don't really like. But it's kind of nice he did the plate mail first. 10 armor makes a big impact on your survivability, especially when he did sell his Ring of Basilius. He should have kept the Basilius over the Quelling Blade, though. That was a mistake. Quelling Blade doesn't accomplish very much right now. Are they going to be able to get a kill here on this Zeus? He's taking a little bit of hits, but they need to get a stun off. He still doesn't have anything new. If he's getting a Dagon, I don't agree with that. There's the Blink stun. They should have kept pursuing, unfortunately. And Ursa coming through, uses his abilities. There's the Shadow Blade. Is he going to be able to initiate on the Kunkka? Here comes the Nature's Prophet. The clap is actually going to miss, and he looks pretty dead to me. Zeus actually steals that kill a little bit. And there's the BKB and the Ursa, so he's going to be able to just right-click in teamfights now, which is great against heroes like Earthshaker. Doombringer looking for something. He's going to actually spot out the Crystal Maiden. There's the Doom going down. Bad play by him so far, though. He looks to be in a little bit of trouble. His Radiance is not doing quite as much as he'd probably like. And Necrolite with a nice item pickup goes for the plate mail. It's going to give him so much survivability against Ursa. Ursa pops the BKB. He is looking for a kill still. The Fissure does nothing. He's going to kill these bugs in no time. Actually, he's in a lot of trouble. He's going to Shadow Blade out, but the Echo Slam picks him off. Still no sight from anything, but a nice play. And Crystal Maiden actually going for phase boots over treads. This is not a bad decision because of the heroes that she's fighting. Ursa is entirely reliant on auto attacking and chasing people, so getting something like phase boots is just going to keep them more survivable. Unfortunately, not stunning the Nature's Prophet. I actually thought the Radiant team had this game in the bag. I'm going to be completely honest. As soon as I looked at the gold per minute, like 15 minutes in, I was like, yeah, Doom has 380 gold per minute. I was like, this game's over. Nobody else on the Dire team has decent gold. But they are playing really good here. This is literally teamwork winning them the game. Teamwork, wards, sentry wards, and bad items played by the on the Radiant team. I mean, this is why you have to play so good every game. Why you have to pick the right items. Ursa needed to get a Blink Dagger, not a Shadow Blade. You know, stuff like that. I think Windrunner's items were really smart. Zeus so far, not very good stuff. Doombringer has a good item build. I don't necessarily like the Plate Mill Ogre Club. I think he could have maybe gone a little bit smarter at that position, but it's like, yeah, Nature's Prophet goes down, taking 1200 damage, man. That ulti is destroying. He's getting a lot of guaranteed kills with it. In this case, I think it's working out pretty well. Once he gets a Shiva's next, I think he's going to be sitting. He's going to be more or less unkillable, I believe, by the enemy team, but he definitely does need to get a pipe or a hood. Because of, I would argue, Doombringer Zeus. If they were any closer to his item gold, or his, if they're any closer to his farm level, basically, I feel like he would definitely need a hood. Against a Zeus, if I was playing this Necrolite, I would be like, yeah, I'm going to need a hood. Aghanim Scepter does go a ways towards protecting him against those nukes, basically, but yeah, Zeus, 7k gold earned. He's lower than the Earthshaker, almost as low as the Crystal Maiden, and this is partially as a result of him being in a dual lane on the top at the start of the game, which is really bad. So, how good is he at? 14k, almost the most farmed hero in the game. It's actually Weaver, who's doing very, very good. Current gold, or I'm sorry, gold per minute 371. So, pretty cool stuff. Weaver looks like he's going for an MKB next. Zeus is just ult happy, man. Not going to be using it in team fights. Just likes to find where everybody is at. And Roshan, actually, it's going to be a cheese on Roshan. I would love to see the cheese get placed on the Necrolite and the Aegis on the Weaver. That would be the best thing to do. The reason for that is cheese. It's an item that Roshan drops after you've killed him for the 3rd time in a game. You have to kill him 3 times, then he drops this. You can sell for 500 gold, it's pretty cool. Restores 2500 HP and 1000 mana. So this is going to be a perfect item for Necrolite. It's basically like an Aegis. He can pop that and heal back up, and hopefully he does pick up the cheese. Actually, they gave it to Kunkka. I don't like that at all. I guess Necrolite's probably not going to die either way. Once again, doing Sentry Dewarding. But I really do feel like cheese would be a little bit better on the Necrolite. Looks like Windrunner actually gets completely trapped. Perfect fissure. Zeus is going to get cleaned up as well, and Doombringer surely going to follow shortly as well. Who did he doom again? He did actually doom Weaver this time, but it doesn't matter. He had the Aegis and the Hood, and the heals from Necrolite were adequate. And who's going to be next here? Ursa can't even pick off the Necrolite at this point. He's going to get chain stunned. He's actually going to survive. Looks like we didn't have any Sentry Wards left over. And Nature's Prophet trying to do some fancy things, but will he go down? Nice bugs. Weaver actually did hit him with the bugs. Is he going to die to the Ursa? No. Good torrent. And, oh, God, dude, this Nature's Prophet is just asking to die. Weaver's going for it. This is absolutely overly aggressive. He gets the kill. Oh, my God. He survived that. I cannot believe that was pretty scary. Alright, somebody needs a tank for this Weaver so he can get out, basically. Just do it, man. You can make it. I guess he's just going to wait. Do they have vision of this? Yeah, they definitely have vision of him. Doesn't matter, nobody's alive, so. Alright, so let's look at what could the Radiant team do right now. They're really far behind. I don't even have to look for the gold per the gold difference graph. How are they not more ahead than... Okay, they were really far ahead. It's getting close now. That makes sense. So it's getting very, very close to the Dire team now. I would basically argue the Dire team is extremely far ahead over the Radiant team, despite the Radiant having like lots of gold. And probably the best thing they could do right now, in my opinion, I think they have generally the right items. Ursa does have that BKB now, which is good. Windrunner has very good items, especially if she gets a pipe afterwards. That would be absolutely perfect. She's going to have no mana problems because of the Orchid, so she can pop the mech and the pipe whenever and do a decent job in the team fight. Zeus still has shitty items, but he needs to start saving his ulti for team fights. I already said Ursa was fine. Sheepstick on Nature's Prophet is great. And is that anyone else? Doombringer. What is he getting? Who knows, man? Will he ever get there? Who knows? This is basically what the Radiant team should do. Every single time that the team fight happens, They're always extremely out of position. I don't think they've had a situation where they actually roamed as 5 or had a decent team fight since the beginning of the game when Nature's Prophet was ganking. They literally haven't had any teamwork. They've all just been solo farming. And this is especially true for Doombringer and for Nature's Prophet and probably for Ursa as well. I haven't spent a lot of time watching the Windrunner. They're even shit-talking. I haven't spent a lot of time watching the Windrunner, but generally from her play so far, I think she's doing fine. So this might actually be an initiate for the Radiant team, but still, they're going to be team fighting at a tower. Huge mistake by the Ursa. He should not be going in on this. And look at this. He pops a BKB. They're going on. Nice Doom on the Weaver. He gets picked off really fast, but that is just the Aegis getting used. Will Doom get picked off? Who's Necrolite going to ult? He does use his... he's just dominating, man. Necrolite just cleaning up on these guys, and that was basically, once again, another bad teamfight initiation. All they burned was Weaver's Aegis, and that is entirely because of Ursa forcing a teamfight. They should have disengaged as soon as they didn't catch a hero right here. As soon as the heroes backed up to here, and Ursa was right here, and he popped his BKB, he was committed, and the rest of the team was like, oh god, I guess we're going for it. I think if Windrunner would have gotten a shackle off on one of these guys right at the start of the teamfight, that would have been pretty good, but that was bad. That was not a teamfight. That would have been a situation, as a support hero, I would have said, Ursa, you're a freaking idiot. Have fun dying. I mean, maybe I wouldn't be that mean about it, but, you know, that was a huge mistake by Ursa. That forced a 4-man death. They picked off the Weaver, which is great, but look at this. They're going to lose a Rax. The entire Dire team is pushing. Now, one thing Ursa could do is try to push a Rax of himself. I hope he doesn't actually TP back for another, like, 15 seconds or something. He does pick up a TP scroll. He's pretty slow there. But they're definitely... the Dire team's definitely going to get a Rax here. At least, they're going to get both. I'm pretty much for sure. I think, but with all the heroes coming up in about 8 seconds or so, we might see something fancy. It does look like Zeus is going for an egg items, just kind of stacking up HP items, but this is a mistake. He should at least have gotten something like a Force Staff. You want to always, I mean, you don't just want stat items. I mean, it's always nice to have more numbers, but you need more utility, especially on a hero like Zeus. He doesn't have any getaways. He doesn't have any way to just, like, whose ward is that? Oh, it's a sentry ward, okay. He doesn't have any abilities that slow somebody down when they're trying to chase him. All he can do is kill. So something like a Force Staff goes a really long way in making an impact. Are we going to see a Beast Echo Slam from Earthshaker? He's thinking about it, man. Is it a power shot? I don't know if that did notice the Earthshaker or not, but Treant spots him out. And Kunkka with the Daedalus now, so that's crit strike. So once again, now he's going to be cleaving for 135%, plus he has a critical chance possibility. So if he gets lucky, every 4 hits, approximately, vaguely. I know that doesn't work. You couldn't say every 4 hits, obviously, based on the statistics, but 25% chance to do a 250% crit. So we'll see if he can get any lucky crits off in the team fights. Alright, here comes the next team fight. Ursa's going to do it again. He is going to run up and try to take out the tower, which he does get successfully. There's X marks the spot. Nice job. Pops his BKB so he doesn't get sent back. And I would love to see them just disengage here. He does Doom on the Necrolite, but now Doombringer looks extremely dead. Weaver goes down, surprisingly. Doom also gone. Kunkka looks to be in a lot of trouble. Ursa going to clean him up, I think. Nature's Prophet spending time killing illusions, which is not very productive. And are they going to be able to kill the Necrolite? He's getting so low. Nice shackle shot. Is it going to be enough? Windrunner wants to kill. God, that ulti doing so much. And I think Windrunner will end up dying here. She's completely out of options. Oh my god, if she survives this, she's going to die. She's going to die from Heartstopper for sure. Heartstopper doing damage. That's Necrolite's aura. And the urn as well. Looks like Necrolite possibly going for a Sheepstick next. Is he happy about the CM? I would assume so. He's doing really good. Very, very heavy support from him. Alright, Kunkka not really producing a whole crapload in teamfights. I feel like he probably needs to get some kind of lifesteal. I wouldn't normally recommend this on a Kunkka, but he's basically not tanky enough. Maybe, like, I would say maybe Black King Bar, but that's not going to work either. Maybe get for a heart. I think a heart would be good. And he's going to pick up a Reaver, or a Satanic would actually be very, very good. If he picked up a Satanic, he could be very, very useful against someone like Ursa. And Necrolite once again just going heavy tank here with all of his items. Egg and Scepter actually making a pretty big impact in this game, surprisingly. I didn't think it would really help out that much, but it has proven quite useful. He still hasn't gotten a hood yet, which I do really think he needs to get. Definitely needs to pick up a hood of some kind. Even if he has a Sheepstick, he still has this glaring magic hole. 25% magic resistance. Once again, against the Zeus, is scary. Because Zeus does damage based on total HP, proportional to your current health. If you have a really high HP pool like Necrolite does, 2400, you're going to take a lot of damage. There's a Doom once again going on Crystal Maiden. Not a good decision by the Doombringer, man. Just Doom the Necrolite and try to kill him. Look at this. If you would have doomed this Necrolite, he would be dead right now. I would guarantee that pretty much. Ursa comes through. Ursa might be able to get this kill. It's going to be close. 2 more hits. Oh my god, 1 more hit. Please tell me you're going to get this. Thank you. Okay, Necrolite does finally go down. If he would have just doomed Necrolite, Necrolite doesn't get a single ulti off. He doesn't get Shiv's Guard off. He doesn't get Death Pulses off. He doesn't get his mech off. That is so much heal and tank and all this other stuff. Windrunner, is she going to get the Kunkka? Oh my god, he did he really do that? Why didn't he just slap him? They both have phase boots. Who is faster though? He needs to pop this Shadow Blade.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I think he's going to get him. There we go. Oh my god. That would have been ridiculous. So the Radiant team, good team fight there. Picking off 4, surprisingly. Windrunner ends up surviving. Doesn't quite have... Actually, yeah, she does actually have the pipe now. And if not, 50 gold away. But still, at a little bit of a disadvantage. Midrax is gone. And I think we're going to see this game actually drag on quite a ways here. Despite the Dire team having a pretty big gold advantage. So finally, the Radiant team doing a decent enough team fight. Zeus is probably going to pick up a point booster now, or go for his Blade of Alacrity, finish up his Aghanim Scepter. Nature's Prophet actually taking top tower. Big play by him. Weaver coming through, and he's just going to TP out, but there's an MKB. He's going to die. I don't think he's going to make it. Oh my god, he got lucky. Alright, he got lucky there. Wow, that was really close. And Nature's Prophet actually being a complete idiot. All he had to do was sheep and TP. That was it. He actually had a full sheep stick. He had a sheep stick that was not off cooldown. You sheep him so he can't attack you, and then 3.5 seconds later you get out. So, almost a big misplay by the Nature's Prophet. But he did take out the tower, which is pretty big. Alright, so Radiant team finally getting a good team fight off. Getting a little bit of advantage back. If we look at the gold graph, it's very, very equal here. Their next game plan, get Doombringer a Black King bar, of course, which would be really big. After that, though, they need to continue doing these ninja tactics with Nature's Prophet. Try to get Nature's Prophet, or try to start a team fight where Nature's Prophet could TP to a different lane and basically just crush Arax. His ulti is constantly pushing the lanes, though. As you can see, 3 lanes are pushing. This is the perfect time for the Radiant team to now have a team fight. You want a team fight to break out when all the lanes are pushed towards your enemy team. That way, for example, let's say all 5 of these heroes had a team fight right here and they all died. The Radiant team, or the Dire team, could be like, oh yeah, let's push Arax. But what do they have to do? They have to push all the lanes. They have to push bot lane all the way around. They have to push mid lane all the way through. They have to push top lane all the way through. So it makes it much more difficult to end up pulling out Raxus. Zeus finally about to get his Aghanim Scepter. Did I talk about Static Field? I think I got sidetracked, sorry. The way Static Field works, 11% health reduction. All nearby enemies whenever he casts a spell. So it's proportional to their current health. That means 11% of Necrolite's HP is reduced whenever Zeus casts a spell. He still doesn't have a hood. So that does full damage. He's losing like 200. That's so much HP. He's taking a 240 damage nuke every time Zeus casts a spell around him. 240. That's not even including the nuke damage itself. So Chain Light, Arc Lightning does 130. It gets an extra 200 just based on Static Field. Now that does get reduced by magic resistance, I'm pretty sure. Wow, once again, Doombringer getting caught out of position. What is this guy thinking, man? When an enemy team Roshans, you do not run towards the Roshan. They always come out and look for another kill. I think Weaver's going to be carrying this game. Doombringer absolutely not making good use of his early items here. Is he going to survive? That's the real question. He does go down. Nice silence. There's the shackle. Oh my god, hit him, please. Take him out. Oh my god. Okay, he does go down. Good. Weaver a little overcharging there. And another nuke on Zeus. Zeus is going to get picked off on one hit by the Weaver. And a nice little disengaged Dire team loses their Aegis, but they kill the Zeus and the Doom. I would actually love to see them take a Rax right now, but look what Nature's Prophet was doing. He's like, team fight? Time to push a lane, and Nature's Prophet actually going for damage here. He hasn't used his sheep yet. He uses his sheep. There's the slow. I think Crystal Maiden going to get a kill. And indeed, there's a kill. Sloppy play by Nature's Prophet. He still didn't use his sheep stick there. He had it. He used it right before he died. But dude, if you're fighting a Kunkka, just sheep him and auto-attack him. Especially with a Maelstrom. You're going to attack faster. 25 attack speed here. He's actually not doing that bad of damage right now. 158 plus 24. Why not just auto-attack the guy? It makes a little, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Earthshaker actually has an Aghanims, pretty interesting. So increases Echo Slam bounces. Gonna hit each hero twice. That means he's gonna do a lot more damage when he ends up ulting on heroes. And Weaver trying to take bot tower. He's going for a butterfly. Is it on the way though? Where's the courier at? I thought I saw a null. Yeah, he's actually got his butterfly. It's gonna keep him really survivable against auto attacks. But you know, it's good for the fact that Ursa is physical damage. It's bad for the fact that a heart would keep him a lot more survivable against Nature's Prophet, Doom, Windrunner, and Zeus. So I think in this case, I would like to see Weaver get a heart instead of getting a butterfly. But, you know, it's just a preference choice. That's the decision I would make. There's the Doom going down. And now Weaver's going to die, basically. Unless the heals from Necrolite get ridiculous, which they are good, but I don't know if he's going to be able to survive. He's taking quite a bit of damage. I think he's actually, yeah, he will live for sure. In a pretty big team fight, losing 1-for-1. Necrolite goes down, surprisingly. It must have been Ursa picking him up. And Windrunner drops as well. Nice cleave by the Kunkka. Is the Torrent going to be effective? Nice X. A little late, though. You got to X before you Torrent. And hit the creep wave. Hit the creep wave. No! It doesn't get the kill. If you would hit the creep wave, everybody could have gotten a kill on the Zeus, possibly. Ursa coming through, chasing the Kunkka now. Nice fissure by Urshiker. That was very good. Is he going to get the chain stun off? Ursa wants blood. He doesn't have a BKB, so Urshiker could stun him. There's the enchant totem. Nice chase, good boat. Damage going down, but he's invisible. And there's the sentry. There's the disable on the Kunkka, taking big hits. Is Kunkka gonna crit? Doesn't matter, he's dead. Another slow on the Ursa. Is Kunkka gonna get this kill is the real question. There's X marks the spot. Urshiker wants to help. And he does trade his life for it, but good trade there. Yeah, Kunkka's sitting really good with all this heart now. Once he finally got the survivability, wow, he's hitting so hard. Once he finally got the heart for the survivability, he's sitting so much better in team fights. He can just disengage and heal up basically. This is something that Kunkka could have filled a little bit earlier, I think. If you got like a Vanguard instead of Bracer, something like that. Phase Vanguard, Battle Fury is kind of a common item build. Doom will come through. He's going to put down a level death. Torrent will actually miss. But Doombringer just getting hit way too hard. Wow, man. Holy crap. This game is going to be over. Dire Team going to get a Rax here for sure. Nature's Prophet is also dead, so no pushing there. I feel a little bad for the Windrunner. She should have definitely got a Pipe, not an Ultimate Orb. That was a mistake. Pipe would have made a difference in a team fight. And Power Shot trying to slow everything down, but there's the Orchid. She will pop Windrunner as well. There's the mech, and now she will run, I believe. There's the X. That was a mistake. Nice Torrent, gonna get off, but it's not gonna make a difference. And the middle tower will fall. One more to go. And Weaver with the butterfly now, 1600 HP. Wish he had a heart, but he's still doing okay. Earthshaker, good items. So let's just look at the items now, since this game is pretty much over. Can make any final lasting comments. Crystal Maiden should have more than this, considering that she was winning. I mean, yeah, she did a great job warding and counter warding and all this stuff, but man, dude, like, you can have fun. It's fine. Like, if you want to buy an Aghanim Scepter or something, like, go for it, you know? It's not the end of the world. She's just now buying one 57 minutes into the game here. I mean, how much gold did she have? 13k gold. Like, look at this. She's 1,000 gold short from Earthshaker's gold. Like, literally, 1,500 less gold than an Earthshaker has had all game. Look at Earthshaker's items. Blink, Arcane, Aghanim's Bottle. Compared it to the Crystal Maiden. Like, holy crap, dude. She's spent so much time getting the allies better items, which is fine. I'm surprised it did not hit, but it doesn't matter. Windrunner goes down anyways. She's going to pick up an Aghanim Scepter, and there it is. Aghanim Scepter, Crystal Maiden. That's where all that gold went, but man, dude, don't be afraid to buy a little bit more items. This Crystal Maiden is a saint on a pro level game. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, but in a pub, holy crap, whatever. Won in the game in a lot of ways. They had good ward vision, whatever. Maybe that impacted why the Radiant team didn't do as well as they could. Nice fissure from the Earthshaker. It's going to slow down the initiation by the Ursa. Will he pick off the Crystal Maiden? He does. Is he going to get Kunkka as well? It's going to be close. One more hit. Oh, he's not going to get it. Too slowed down. And Necrolite going to clean up easy there. 2,000 damage with that ulti. Holy crap. Cheese on Necrolite, and the Ancient Fortress will definitely drop here. Zeus misplaying a lot this game. Just got the Aghanim Scepter. Just get something like a Force Staff just get a Force Staff on Zeus. It's a really good Zeus item. Gets good positioning, things like that. That's it. Great game, good pub game. I'm going to be happy to cast more mid-skill, mid to high-level pub games in the future. So since I already covered all the, in my opinion, a lot of basic topics in the previous Purge casts of pub, I think this is going to be better in the future, just talking about mistakes or just inadequacies in play. And look at that, Doombringer, man. 4, 13, and 15. He was doing so good in the early game, but he just did not transition that early farm into a strong mid game. He didn't gank appropriately. His team really didn't gank that much at all. They just kept farming, and they got outganked and outplayed by the Dire team, largely because of the smokes and the warding from the Crystal Maiden. So I think Crystal Maiden MVP of that game, close second, going to Necrolite. I think Necrolite played extremely well. Only difference is I would have gotten a Hood on Necrolite, or at least a Planeswalker's Cloak, at least. That would have made a big difference. So, alright, thanks for watching, guys. I have to go to a New Year's party. I appreciate you guys watching. Please leave me any comments below. I'm always happy to answer any questions that are legitimate and I didn't necessarily cover in the video. So I think that's about it. Please subscribe if you guys haven't yet. If you want to see more content from me, like the video if you liked it. And I think that's about it. Go tell your friends if you want to expand my viewer base. That's the best way to get the channel bigger, is for you guys to share me to people who you think would benefit from it. So I think that is about it. Yes, indeed. Alright, thank you for watching. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.